Welcome back, everyone, to our Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager. So we're coming off of a great race where we showed a lot of speed at a place where we've not traditionally had a good bit of speed. So that is very good for us. If we come over to the car screen, you can see we have the best car on the grid. We are number one in acceleration, deceleration, low speed corners, and medium speed corners. So all of the things we can do, we are doing great. So that would explain why we have the speed we have. So we also noticed that we've got a new suspension that's coming up in under a day. Let's go ahead and run into the emails. Get these out of the way. Okay, pit crew review. It was a great pit stops. That was a great selection of them because we had no errors. Unfortunately, the worst thing is that we have a couple of cases of dodgy neck. That is no good for us because it's going to change the strategy and it's really going to test our speed. All right, let's go ahead and respond to our interview question. Let's see, qualification was a struggle. Yes, it was. You definitely could have done better than 19th there. All right. All right, let's pick the middle of the road there, and it didn't change a thing. Okay, let's move over to the pit crew. Let's see who we've got for hire that we might be interested in. And doesn't look like very many. Okay, these guys I'm not particularly interested in. I mean, I like the 13, I like the 14, but some of the other things that go along with it are just not good. All right, let's do the remove fatigue crew. And all right, that gets us in pretty good shape, actually. But let's see what we need to swap out, because unfortunately, I don't always agree with the AI's decisions about who to swap out. All right, we got one down here that is full on stamina. Oh, there's a couple of people up here that could use a break. So we'll give one of them a break. And let's see, who do we want to give a break to? It really doesn't matter a whole lot. We'll go with the front jack simply because that's the higher stat for this particular driver. Okay, so I think we're in good shape. Not really interested in hiring either one of these guys. Unfortunately, I need the tire number to be higher. All right, so let's go ahead and reject both of those. Okay, we'll check again after the next race. All right, car repair complete, and also we've got a new part. So there we go, 545 on the suspension. And oh, we don't quite have our new parts going. So let's take a look at what we might want to develop going forward. Now you could say we could stop the parts development. We're number one in everything and save the money just in case we win the championship this year. None of this is really going to carry over to the A class because their parts will be much different. But I don't want to get lazy on this and toward the end of the season these other guys catch us and pass us. So I'm just going to continue doing this. We got plenty of money. And let's see. All right, we could go gearbox. I think suspension, we're going to be in good shape as we continue to work on these, on the performance of those. So I think we're okay there. Let's look at the possibility of maybe another nose. Let's see what we've got for the nose piece. And we could do... Okay, we could do a plus 40 there. And that'll get us up to 226, which will be a huge improvement. Okay, I like that quite a bit. So we got 24 days left on that. Looks like we also got some sponsorship opportunities coming along. All right, let's take a look at what reliability we really need to work on. All right, suspensions. Okay, we do need to work on the suspension a little bit. Oh, I mean, our new suspension. I forgot about that. Almost missed it. Okay, and let's see, where else can we get by? Okay, let's take this one out and go with our new part. Okay, very excited to get this one fully maxed out. And we'll probably do at least one more brake package to try to get another one up in this range too. All right, and our next nose piece is going to be great. All right, let's move our staff back over. These two will be done 3 days before the race. And that should be really good. Let's see where the... All right, so gearbox, wow. I didn't realize it was quite that low, but apparently it is. Okay, but the good news is they'll be getting a new gearbox very shortly because we'll be moving up from into the new gearbox here before the next race. Okay, I like what we've got. Sponsorship offers are coming in. And let's see. So, advice on love. Okay, so you got to love this. Mike Ham, he could get some couple of personality traits: annoying other half and just married, or feeling blue. All right, I'm going to say follow your heart. And we'll see how all this works out. We've got enough issues coming up with our drivers that, let's see, morale, we're sending a car. We're not going to spend $100 grand on a birthday party. Okay, let's check in. See, our parts are coming along. All right, we're up to 66% there. All right, good. And these will be done before the next race. Let's also take a look at these sponsorship offers. So now we've got 1 2-star and a couple of 1-star offers. And it's pretty clear which one of these we need to take because the difference between the 1 and the 2 stars is evident. Okay, nice 1.25 million upfront money. We'll take that. And let's see what we've got here. A 3, a 2, and a 1-star offer. So we've got 300 per. And okay, I like that one. It's a little bit long, but I kind of like having these 3-star offers when it's close. Okay, we'll take that. And if we check on our finances, 1.39 is what we would be losing according to that. But as always, we're hoping to do better. Oh, I saw an email pop up. So eye problems. Look at this. This is atrocious. Oh my goodness. We're just getting crushed right now. All right, so Sophia is in terrible shape. She's going to be down to 71 on stamina. Not to mention the other issues she's got going on. Now Lee, the eye problems, man, that slows him down considerably. Come on, guys, we got to keep it together. All right, so how long is this going to be? 6 weeks. Okay, so it looks like all of this is going to be gone after the next race. We hope. We certainly hope. Now, Mike Ham, on the other hand, just got married, so that's big marketability increase and morale boost for him. But it also, let's see where it is. There it is, the annoying other half. That hurts his mechanic relationship. So Man, we are getting hit brutally hard right now on the driver's side of things. Okay. And there we go. So we're now at a point where our new part is almost done. Let's clear these out. And in fact, let's go ahead and fit these parts on because I want to see what the reliability is going to look like for both of these. All right, so brakes will not change. Engine is not going to change. Nose will also not change. But what will change is a very nice increase in the gearbox for both cars, and that's going to get rid of this 51%. And let's go down to the suspension. And now this will get rid of any suspension issues. Okay, I like that a lot. So not a sizable performance boost there for car number 1, but it is a nice boost for car number 2. So all the speed we can get in these cars, the better. All right, so I like the way that looks. Let's go back over to improved parts. Take a quick look at car number 1. Everything is in the mid 90s or above. And here we have nothing below 80. Okay, not bad. Actually, on the parts list of car 2, wait a minute, let's go back over to fit parts. Something doesn't look quite right about that. Okay, no, it's right. It's still an original part, but it is the best one. Okay, so we're in good shape there. If we come back over to improved parts, we don't have anything in there right now, but we are about to have that new part come in for the nose. Okay, so let's go ahead and move forward. All right, a preview. There we go. The new nose is finished, and the 226 is going to be a huge boost whenever we get to that. Because you can see where we started the year and where we could get with this is going to be a huge improvement. All right, let's see if there's anything we want to move out of the performance increases. Actually, no, I don't think so. I tell you what, let's swap these out for now. And yeah, I think that'll be good. We'll want to get this part much better and get it much closer to this 226 at some point. Now let's go back under designing new parts and let's see where we need to go. Let's go with the brake package. 737 is the top. So let's see what we can do with that. And 747. Okay, good. Good, and that will open up the possibility next time of a great part. And let's see what we've got. Actually, nothing that we want to use there. Not for this year. What we might be able to do is use this risk level -1 and then do something like either one of these for our second part instead of this 25 to the max. But it's not going to give us a whole lot that we could use. Again, if we're going for the title, then this isn't a bad one. Plus 40 to the deceleration. So again, a lot to keep in mind, a lot of decisions to make, a lot of choices. Okay, all right, and now it is race time. So let's go ahead and set this up. I think I'm still going to go, what do I want to do here? If we go 650, that'll take us down nice. Yeah, there's just not a big enough difference there for me to care a whole lot, and I like this this leeway that we have. So we're going to hopefully, there's really no reason why we shouldn't be able to pick up the full bonus for practice and qualifying. But we'll see. Okay. I am a little torn here because with the driver issues we've got, part of me is thinking we might have to use the super softs a little bit more. So I tell you what, let's do. Let's go with this setup. Yeah, let's go ahead and go with this setup, because we're going to have to make more pit stops, probably 4 pit stops because of these issues. Maybe 3, but possibly 4. So we're going to give ourselves plenty of tires just in case that ends up being the situation. Let's check on these parts one more time before we click the button. And our brakes look good for both cars. Engine is a non-issue. All right, we're in good shape with the nose. And let's see, gearbox also looking very good. And finally, the suspension looking very good for both. All right, I like it. I think we're ready to head to the track. All right, practice and qualifying are now done. It is time for the race. So qualifying went actually pretty well. We ended up on the pole with car number 1, and I think car number 2 was around 6th position, 5th or 6th, somewhere in that range. So not bad at all. Of course, we get our sponsor objective for being 4th or above. The race is where the fun is really going to start. This is going to be interesting because we've got multiple drivers with injuries that are going to hold them back. So we're going to have to see how this strategy really works out. So in car 1, we're going to start out with Petra. She is the only one of the 3 who is actually at full song. So she doesn't have any detriments on her right now. So we're going to start out with her and try to get as much as we can out of this first stint with her, and then we'll sort of work the other 2 in as much as we can. Probably going with Sophia second, since she has the least amount of stamina, but we've definitely got some issues to deal with and figure out on the strategy part. Now, as far as the tires, the soft tires work out very well with the starting fuel, so that's why we're on the softs for both, but I definitely plan on using, depending on how things go, definitely plan on using the softest tire, the super soft, in this race, probably for Sophia and Melina. So we'll see how that goes, but that's sort of my plan. Of course, we're going to be starting off pushing to get the tire temps up and hopefully keep as much of our track position as we can at the beginning of the race. But as always, we will see how that goes. All right, let's get everything set. And there you can see, so we're starting 1st and 6th, okay? I'm ready to get this thing started because this should be interesting to see how all of these injuries and detriments and so on, the debuffs really play out. I don't think I've ever had, in all my playthroughs, I don't think I've ever had this many debuffs on one car at a time. So here we go. So we're immediately losing positions, which is about what you would expect. All right, let's go ahead and back off a little bit because tire temps are already up there. We're going to see if they continue to climb, and if they do, then we'll have to back off. Yeah, they're continuing to climb. So we'll back off to conserve. So as much as we're worried about position right now, we're trying to run our race, trying to maximize each of these stints for the drivers and do the best we can. Then we'll, at the end, we'll just see where we turn out. But these guys in front of us, I mean, I see some medium tires. That looks like a 2-stop strategy to me. But we'll see how that goes. If they were able to run 2-stop strategy, I don't think we got anything for them. But right now, our pace is not holding up all that well. Again, Petra is not our fastest driver, for sure. So we need her to hang in there and get really as much driving time as she can, make the most out of these tires and the fuel. All right, now we're sort of, everything has stabilized a little bit. Unfortunately, it has stabilized with us at the very back of the field for car 2, which is not exactly what we want. All right, let's move back up to neutral for a short period of time. See that? We blew by 4th position there. That didn't take much at all once we actually turned it up. But again, we can't do that very long or we'll end up overheating the tires. So let's go back to conserve. Let's check our weather. I don't think it's going to be an issue. All right, wow, look at that. Of course, we've got the super softs that'll be in very soon for a pit stop, and we are definitely gaining on these folks. So it looks like they were pressing extremely hard at the beginning, and now they have backed off of that pace a good bit, which is good for us because we're not pressing very much at all here. In fact, we are conserving more than we're doing anything. All right, there you go. You see we jump to the front, and now we move up a few spots toward the back of the pack. Okay, let's move back up to neutral on car 1. Okay, so this is good. This is what we need from Petra. We need to just keep up this pace, go as hard as we can while still maintaining our equipment. All right, tires getting a little bit hotter than I would prefer right now, so we're going to back off of that. Of course, so much traffic here with the A-Class cars running through constantly. That's something you have to keep in mind with your gaps. As you can see right there, 7th position is right on top of us. Okay, we are now 40 minutes into the first stint. This is good. Both drivers have made it at least 40 minutes in, and I can see we've still got tons and tons of stamina on Petra, which is exactly what we figured we would have, but not exactly sure how far we were going to be able to get with Ham. All right, so his tires are starting to wear down, which makes sense. Okay, Petra's still at 41% wear on her side and still pulling away. She's at 11 seconds on the gap to 2nd position. So here we're going to maximize everything we can out of car number 2. All right, let's let Petra go a little bit here, back up to neutral, and continue to build that lead. It's up to 14, 15 seconds now. All right, so we're getting very close to pit stops for both cars, in fact. Okay, I'm liking it. Let's go ahead and set up our pit stop for car 2. And I tell you what, let's go ahead and give her, you can see she's not going to have very much stamina at all. So let's go ahead and give her some super softs. And let's see, the super softs are saying about 21. Let's give her about 20, somewhere around 25. Yeah, somewhere around 25 in fuel. That should give her more than enough. We'll get her in the car right now, and that way, as we're able to do that, we'll see how long of a stint she can do from there, and that will tell me how long the other 2 drivers are going to need to be in the car. All right, we need nice and smooth pit stops, and everything looks good. No mistakes. Excellent. We'll continue on. All right, so Petra's now been in the car for 55 minutes. We'll bring her in next time. And we're going to put Sophia in because she has the least amount of stamina. Okay, we are going to put her in for, let's see. Wow, as much as I would love to do the soft tires and let her run a long stint, I don't think she can do it. Let's go ahead and let her run the super softs. And let's see, 25 to 27. Let's put this at about 30. Let's give her about 30 fuel. And there we go. We'll go from there. Okay, car 2. We'll try and get as much as we can out of car 2 with these super softs. Same thing with car 1 now on these tires. This is what we want. We want to get as much of these tires as we can while not abusing them. Okay, so Sophia should be able to run some good laps. She just won't be able to run near as long as we're used to allowing her to go in other races. Okay, so you can see we are doing well in relation to those who have already stopped. Our main competition here is going to be all of these guys that have not stopped yet. So they are running some great stints. And that's going to be hard for us to deal with because I think they're going to make one fewer pit stop than us. So we're going to have to make up as much time as we can. And we'll just have to see how it goes. Unless, of course, they start putting on the super softs and change up their strategy from what we were expecting. Now, if they do that, then that's an entirely different deal. But for now, I would estimate that they're probably going for a two-stop race here, which is why we just got to get all the speed we can and hope for the best. All right, so far so good. We've got a 16-second lead, which is roughly where we were before. And the difference is that now we've got car number 2 that is doing quite well. Okay, let's take a look at the weather. Still no weather. Every once in a while, the screen flickers a little bit, and it makes me think that there are raindrops. Of course, with time going by as quickly as it is, it can be hard to tell sometimes unless it's raining really hard. Okay, worn tires on car number 2. That's to be expected. She's getting close to that 30-minute window, which is about what we figured we would get out of car number 2 on these tires. Okay, so let's go ahead and queue up her pit stop. We're going to put Tang in the car, and we are going to load him up with soft tires and fill him up. Okay, we don't want to push those tires too much farther than where they were on wear. Okay, let's hope for a good pit stop, smooth. Everything looks good. All right, excellent. No mistakes. That is the key. All right, so now we're nearing 30 minutes in our stint on car number 1 with the Super Softs. You can see these guys are closing in on us a little bit on the Super Softs. All right, tires starting to wear down, but we're going pretty good here. Her stamina is actually holding up pretty well, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that we're able to go in the green and spend a lot of time in the green. That really saves on her stamina. So I like this, but of course the tires are wearing down. Okay, we'll come in next time by. We'll put Lee in the car, and his eye problems are going to slow him down. So this is going to be really interesting to see what kind of stint he can put up. We're going to fill him up, and we're going to see what he can run. Actually, let's see. Yeah, we'll let him run as far as he can. We don't need him to run but maybe 45 minutes. So okay, we need a good clean pit stop to give us the absolute best opportunity for the best finish. All right, no mistakes, good pit stop, and we're off and running. All right, we'll have to see what kind of speed he's got now. Let's see what kind of lap times. We'll have to check in on his lap times periodically and just see where he's at compared to those around him. All right, so we're starting to see pit stops at the front. Okay, looks like the leader is going to be in for a pit stop very soon. There we go. They're coming in now. Okay, so what we're going to be looking for here is to put Petra back in the car. Now for her, she's been in the car for, let's see, nearly an hour, 57 minutes. So we can get by with about 40 minutes roughly of her in the car. So that's what we're going to be looking to do. And we're simply going to manage this the best we can up until that point. So it looks like we're down to really 2 guys up here in the front that are going to try to do a 2-stop strategy. So they are our main competition to keep us off of the podium. Okay, in the meantime, car number 2 is having a really good race right now. We'll see how this turns out with the number of pit stops, but so far so good. Okay. All right, we go back to neutral on Lee and let him try to get a little bit more speed out of the car here. Let's take a look at his lap times, mid-29s, which is basically in line, a touch faster than most of those around us, with the exception of our other car, actually. So we're not blazingly fast compared to those around us, but we are doing pretty well. And remember, he has a huge disadvantage here because of his eye problem. So we're doing pretty good with all things considered. We'll just have to see how this all works out at the end. All right, so these guys look like they're going to be making it on one more stop, which is the same thing we're planning on doing. So we're not in terrible shape. We have a nice gap over 5th position. So we got that going for us. We're just going to have to see. And, of course, the big thing is we're waiting till we get to around 40 minutes. In fact, let's go ahead and go full overdrive on the engine. Yeah, we should be fine on that. Okay, so we've got worn tires on car 2. And let's see, so we're going to put Mike Ham back in the car, and really same thing for him. He can go, we'll say about 45 minutes on him, just to keep it simple. All right, so we're going to run this thing pretty hard for car 1 particularly to get down to where we want to be for our next pit stop. Again, a roughly 40 minutes on car 1, roughly. But we'll use the tire that we have available, tire and fuel that we have available. Okay, now we're getting down to it on the next pit stop for car 2. All right, let's go ahead and set up their pit stop. We're going to put Mike Helm back in the car. And his drive time should be perfectly fine now. And 45 minutes, we'll still have to go with the soft tire. And let's see, 45 minutes. Let's see, we don't need that much. We'll go with... I'll tell you what, let's don't get too crazy with this. Let's go ahead with 40. There we go. All right, so we're back to the lead here. Running 1st and 3rd, at least temporarily anyway. Okay, we're coming down to where we want to be for car number 1 for our next pit stop. And the tires are definitely wearing out, but that's perfectly fine. Because we're going to go one more lap, and then we're going to queue up our pit stop. And we're going to put Petra back in the car and let her finish this thing off. It would be nice if we could get by with this, but I don't think we can quite do that. So we'll put the soft tires back on. And let's see. Let's don't get too crazy. Let's go... I'd rather have too much fuel in the end than run out. I've done that before, and that is just not a fun feeling. All right, here we go. Pit stop looks good so far. All right, no mistakes. All right, we'll take it back down to high on the engine mode for now. All right, so you can see we've definitely got company right here running along with us. Check the weather again. Yeah, no weather appears to be an issue. All right, so it looks like most of these cars have sort of made their bed now. We got about 30 minutes left in the race, and they sort of got what they've got. Okay, I know we've got issues on car number 2. Are we going to make this 17%? Well, we're going to find out. We're going to try to spend a lot of time in the green here, and hopefully we can make it with that car, because we're right on the edge of getting points, or a point anyway, and if we come in, then we've got no shot at it. So we might as well press our luck there. Okay, let's see. How are our parts looking over here? Looking good. Suspension particularly is taking a beating at this track. Okay, that moves us up to 3rd. All right, and I believe... All right, if this thing will ever calm down with swapping focus around. Okay, so we're looking good now for a podium finish, but of course I want to try to get higher than that, if at all possible. And the way I'm going to try to do that is crank up this engine. Oh, wow. What just happened? Wow, a lot of pit stops just happened. That... All right, let's take this back down. And let's see exactly where we are. All right, if we can make this with car 2, then we are going to be in great shape. I don't know if we can. This is going to be close. We're at 11%. Yikes. With 15 minutes to go. So we're just going to keep it in the green here. And I know we've got some folks around us, but the main thing for us is we got to try to make it to the end. If we don't make it to the end, it's not going to matter. And of course, if I come into the pits, it's not going to matter. All right, so we've got mechanical issues. We got guys pitting. All right, so we just need to hold this up for 10 more minutes, and I'm afraid to even look at the condition updates on car 2 because I know we've got to be getting down close to 0. So 9 more minutes. Woo, okay, this is... And at this point, I'm not even worried about the position that car number 2 comes in. I'm just concerned if whether or not they can make it to the end. Just make it to the end. All right, 5 minutes remaining. All right, right here. Of course, you can see we're right on the edge of driving time for both of these drivers. Ah, we were so close. Okay, so we didn't quite make it there. Okay, well, it was a chance we needed to take there to try to get some points with that car, but just didn't work out for us. All right, so now we will focus on car number 1, who has just pulled off or about to pull off. Nope, it's still not showing. Waiting for 24 cars to finish. That's always interesting. And there we go. Finally, we get the checkered flag. All right. So we do bring home the victory. We're so close to having both cars in the points, but unfortunately, we didn't quite make it. But it does show us that we do have the speed in car 2. We've got drivers that are good enough to get us points, so we're just going to have to work through that as best we can in the future. Scrutineering, of course, will not be an issue for us. All right, we came home with a large margin of victory and the 10 points. Unfortunately, the other teams are going to probably come home with more than that. We're doing great in the driver championship, but the team championship, we just continue to work at it. Our goal is to catch and pass for the championship lead. We're only 10 points out. So we're just going to keep plugging away at this thing. And I think as we finally get some of these reliability issues taken care of on car 2, we're going to get there. I think. Wow. So that didn't turn out too terribly bad. And the good thing is all of those issues with our drivers, I think, will be done and just gone before our next race. I think. We'll have to take another look at those just to make sure. But yeah, I think we are going to be in great shape there. All right, the driver form wasn't great, but we didn't really expect it to be great. Now, on car 2, they did really well. Unfortunately, we do have some morale problems on car number 2. You can see here, Tang has just never had any morale. And then Melina is, well, she's down pretty low as well. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll continue to follow that. But we came in second place as a team. But, of course, we'll just keep fighting for that lead. We lose $744,000, or rather that's our expenses for this particular race. So our money is in really good shape. And as we find our way back to the main menu, that was a very interesting race. We had a lot going on in that race, a lot of issues going into the race with our drivers. But now we made it through. We got the victory. We're in great condition in the driver standings, as you can see here on the right-hand side. But in the team standings, that's really what we're interested in. So that'll do it for this time. Thank you very much for joining me. And stay tuned for more of our Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager.